I like to work here at the university because I like research, and research is always addressing new applications, new science and technology, which I find very interesting. In particular, in the higher frequency domain at terahertz, there's a lot of opportunities right now, which is of course the right place at the university to look into these. Here we are trying to open up a completely new band for communication, which is related to the terahertz domain. And this is also known by the 6G activities that we see right now that involve also other lower frequency bands, but also include the very high frequency band which we are allocating in the terahertz frequency domain. And this is what we are doing here at my university. How do we change the world in the University of Wuppertal? Yeah, because we want to enable communication with very high data rates. And that has been a problem for many years in the past. You know that from your own electronic devices, from mobile phones, cell phones, that you want to synchronize with other equipment. And this is always has been a limited bottleneck. The data throughput is too slow, which we want to improve. And at very high frequencies, you can get a lot of data at very short time with very low latency. And this is something that is really opening up new applications. There are applications that are related to, let's say, personal users that are trying to apply data communication, let's say, for 3D video systems, where you have a headset on your eyes, basically to implement virtual reality, for instance, and you want to move quickly around without any latency. You want to see something through these systems that really act in real time. And for that, you need to have very low latency communication links with very high data rates as well. And that is currently not possible. So that's why we really want to develop new hardware, new circuits and chips that can be low cost and can make it into consumer electronics. So that's one side. But there's also the other side, which is related to industry automation systems. You want to control machines and robots in an automation environment. And that's the second part where we think these technologies that we are developing here in the systems can be used. Another area, of course, is also automotive driving. There is autonomous driving that is being looked at as well. And again, there are also machines, cars that need to be guided through the traffic, and that needs to be also extremely fast. And these systems need to be built up in a network. Therefore, it is not just a one-to-one line of sight communication. We are talking about building up networks that have very high data throughput. Medical is exactly one of these example applications where you have a virtual reality headset and you want to see basically during an operation how to control equipment and how to see not only the visual part of your image, but you have additional information on the image that you see. Also, you can do remote operations. There's a lot of discussion going on that doctors are not really always around in the operational room. They are remotely, and therefore they need to have really fast and quick access on the operational equipment. Over the recent years, we had been opening up a lot more features for our society. And of course, with the 6G activities, we want to leverage this for the good of our society, in particular the Sustainable Development Goals from the United Nations. Hope that we can use the communication abilities that we have now for improving the way we live in smart cities, for instance. Yeah, there are a number of bottlenecks when it comes to helping out in our research. And Tektronix, for instance, is one of our partners to improve our measurement equipment and our measurement abilities. And you need to understand that if you want to build something very fast, you need to have very fast test equipment as well. So if you have only slow hardware and only slow test equipment, then you cannot open up these new research fields that we were talking about. That needs to go hand in hand. You develop faster communication circuits, you also need to have faster communication test equipment to make sure you can fully characterize these circuits. So that is our collaborations that we are currently having with Tektronix. Because we are working on these new fields, these test equipments do not exist yet. So we have to improve and build these equipments. And it's not just only making them faster, it's also that you have to provide more features in the test equipment. In particular, when you talk about networks, because there you need to test the networks, and that involves a number of communication channels in parallel, such as MIMO systems. And in MIMO systems you have multiple transmitters and multiple receivers that are networked together. There is research going on beam steering, beam switching applications, where you have, in particular in 6G, very low latency. So the equipment needs to capture different communication channels simultaneously, and that is a big challenge for very high channel numbers. And this is where Tektronix currently can help us.